That was Faith Evans' Love Like This. Have you ever wondered why it's specifically black history that draws America's ire? It isn't German history or Italian history. It isn't Spanish history or Mexican history. It isn't Japanese history or Chinese history. All members of the American fabric. Why is it that black history is so triggering to America? Why is it that it's black history that needs to be eroded and diminished and destroyed? Why is that? It is because our history is the mirror America can't look at itself in. It is a reflection of who we are. And it's hard to look at yourself and know what you've done and to know what you plan to do. We were talking about DEI and these rollbacks. Let us be clear. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, came along because it wasn't. Like, people had the opportunity to hire qualified people based on their education, people based on their qualifications, but they decided to hire them based on the color of their skin. They decided to use any other metric, the metrics that they're arguing about now, and how you guys, the black female American is the most educated segment of our society. They have more master's degrees than any other demographic. How are they not educated? But you will change the paradigm. The reason we have DEI and affirmative action, because people used to be able to not hire people based on the color of their skin. To not hire somebody based on their gender. To not hire somebody based on their religion. And it was so rampant. Let's be clear. In America, we didn't just make changes. Every change. America is so adherent to this idea of racial superiority. They had a war to keep people in chains. A war. People actually died. So you think the people that came from that are going to actually just say we're going to start being fair all of a sudden? There either needed to be violence or laws. That's all that was going to change everything. Violence and or laws. And sometimes both of them. Affirmative action didn't last 60 years. The DEI programs didn't last 3. Jim Crow lasted almost 100 years. So we spent more time being racist than taking the remedies for it. We want to go back from a time when you could when you could just not hire people because of the way they looked, because of what you thought of them, because of the color of their skin. We want to go right back to that time. We're cycling back. It's neater. It's more antiseptic, but it's still the same goal. If we're going to do this, let's tell the truth. We want to go back to a time when white men got to decide what your value was, where you could work, what you could eat, where you could go. And if that's the case, DEI is the new whites only sign. That's a little note from the GED section. Got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. The D.L. Hughley Show.